Hey everybody, what's up? This is Danny, the Wicked Awesome Gardener, coming at you from the Wicked Awesome Garden. And today it is beautiful out. It is 70 degrees. It is sunny. There is not a single day in my 10-day forecast below 50 degrees at night, which means even though it's a week before our last expected frost date, I'm going to be planting a whole mess of beans. Now, before we go ahead and get started with all of these, go ahead and click that subscribe button and then give me a thumbs up so I know you're out there watching. Everything is literally just heating up around here. You don't want to miss seeing these cattle panel trellises behind me here, filling with beautiful peas and beans and melons and squash, and seeing all the cool tomatoes we're growing this year. I'm just really psyched. Click that subscribe button and let's go. So beans come in two different types, which are bush beans, which you plant them right into the ground. They grow up in a big bush and you just pick from there, and pole beans, which are a vining variety, and you're going to need to give them something to climb and give them some support, like some bamboo poles or a trellis. So I've picked out 3 pole beans this year that just looked really cool. One, I just want a basic pole bean, just a delicious snap bean that I can come through and munch on while I'm here in the garden, as well as bringing up for dinner, and that is a Kentucky Wonder pole bean. These get about 7 to 8 inches long. They're just your basic standard garden bean. So I am typically a snap bean person. I like to just kind of grab them as I'm going through the garden and snack on them. But this year I also wanted to try a drying bean. So I went to Baker Creek and got some Cherokee Trail of Tears beans, which aside from looking really cool, they also are really good as a snap bean if you harvest them young and tender, or you can leave them on the vine and get them as a drying bean. As I said, I really love a good snap bean for snacking as I walk through the garden, but also I want to see some really cool things coming down from this arched trellis walkway. We have 20 feet that way of cattle panel trellis, which means 40 feet of growing space, 10 on each side of the 4 beds. So we're going to have the peas on this side, pole beans over there, we're going to have melons and cucumbers. All of that, like I've said. The pea and bean trellis is 10 feet long. I want to see some really cool stuff coming down from this trellis as we walk through. So I got some yard-long beans. These are wicked long. I also call them noodle beans. I don't know if there's a variety of green bean that's called noodle beans, but yard-long noodle beans. I'm also going to plant some bush beans, and I kind of forgot when I was at the seed store that I already had bush bean seeds twice. So I ended up shopping for beans 3 times. So from MI Gardener, I have the Blue Lake bush bean, nice standard garden bean. I have left over from last year the Burpees stringless. I decided I wanted a yellow bean, so I have the Gold Rush golden wax bean. I'm looking for good producers, so I decided to try the Burpees Heavy Harvest. And because I love color in my garden, I got the Royal Burgundy. So a nice purple bean. Unfortunately, I think with green beans, when you cook them, they just turn green. There's, I think, like the Scarlet Runner beans or something, dragon tongue bean. I want to grow those next year, but they grow like pinks and stuff like that, and they end up turning green when you cook them. So I'm expecting that the Royal Burgundy will do the same. Before planting your beans, you want to soak them for at least a couple of hours. This will give them a little bit of a jump start on germinating. It'll just make it a little bit easier on them. I'm planting my beans using the square foot method, and with the square foot method you can plant 9 bush beans per square foot. So that's roughly every 4 inches, and planting them in a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 sort of square pattern. This year I have 6 square feet of growing space available for my bush beans. That's going to give me the ability to do 9 of each plant in those 5 square feet, and then the last one will just be a few extra of the more colorful ones like the burgundy and the yellow wax bean, and I threw in a couple extra of the heavy harvest to see if those really do produce well. I'm planting these beans all mixed together. I'm not going to do one kind in 1 square foot, one kind in another, and keep them all separated because they have to soak for about an hour or so before you plant them. That extra moisture gives them a much easier time germinating. You want to make it as easy for them as possible to have the best germination rates. So I've put them all in here together. I'll do 9 per square foot and they'll be just fine. Let's go plant. Another thing that I am going to do before I plant these is I'm going to pour out this water and I'm going to give them a little toss with some bean inoculant. This is a symbiotic rhizome bacteria that will work with the beans to help them pull nitrogen out of the air and fix it into nodules down in their roots. That will feed the plants if there's any extra nitrogen that they need, but it will also help feed the plants surrounding them, like the zucchini that will be on that side and the broccoli that's already over there. So planting beans is super easy. Grab a bean, stick it down about 1 inch in the soil every 4 inches. We're going to go back and cover them over, really easy. And then we're going to give them a good watering in. Beans don't like to be damp. They just do need to have some moisture to get up and going, and you just don't want to waterlog them. I'm sowing these on a day where it's going to be 50 degrees or higher at night, and in the 60s for the next several days, as far as I know. Who knows? You never know when the weather is going to change. This is New England. You don't like the weather? Wait 5 minutes. But I'm going to give these a good watering in to settle them, make sure there's no air pockets and they have good contact with the soil. And that is how we plant beans. Now, those were the bush beans. I'm going to do the pole beans the same way, only I'm going to plant them about 4 to 5 inches apart in a long row all along the trellised edge of the bed, and then they'll just grow up and vine, and you may have to help them get onto the trellis to climb it a little bit as they get bigger. They're up there looking for something to climb, but they don't have eyes, they can't see it. You may have to weave them in and out a little bit, but then they'll take off. So we're going to plant them the same way, with the soaking them for about an hour, using the rhizome bacteria to help them take that nitrogen from the air, fix it into their roots to feed the surrounding plants. So I'm going to go ahead and do that Take care of these, and I will see you guys next time. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can see how all of this looks, how gorgeous it's gonna be up on this trellis, and how much crazy production we're gonna get out of these beans. I am gonna have piles and piles. So hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, give me a comment. I love talking to you guys. It's so much fun. Thanks for coming along today, guys, while I grow some wicked awesome food from yard to table. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, please click here for more content. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date on our latest videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really excited to go through this journey with you while we grow something wicked awesome from yard to table.